فبالله كم تستطب القروح ويبرأ جرح الكسير.
Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. I am Navila and I am from 8A. Yes, I already a great guys. So today what I want to do, I want to deliver a speech from one of the biggest business figure. What is? Let's hear it. I dropped out of Paris College after the first 6 months, but then stayed around as a drop in for another 18 months or so before I really quit. So why I did drop out? I started before I was born. My biological mother was a young unwed a graduate student who decided to put me for our for adoption. She was very firm in her decision that I should be adopted by a college graduate. Everything had been arranged for me to be adopted at birth by a lawyer and his wife. However, when I was born, they changed their mind at the last minute. They decided they wanted a girl. I said, that's when my parents, who were on a waiting list, received a call in the middle of the night. We have an unexpected baby boy. Do you want him? And then say, of course. Later, my biological mother found out that my adoptive mother had never graduated from college and my adoptive father had never graduated from high school. She intelligently refused to sign the adoption paper, but she eventually relented when my parents promised I will someday go to college. This is speech from Steve Jobs, who Apple CEO and founder of a Pixar. You guys know Pixar and Apple, right? He said he was adopted child because her mom waiting Steve Jobs to grow up with educated parents. Steve Jobs also said education is important because it plays a crucial role in improving the quality of a life of individuals and community. No matter what is your background, we can become successful people. Steve Jobs also like that. Steve Jobs from adopted family. Her mom, who is Jana, is put him to adoption, and he he adopted with a lawyer and his wife. And we can put other example such as Albert Einstein, J.K. Rowling, Stephen Hawking, and we know this man, Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who from a family who the mom and the father are died. We can we can follow them. We can follow Albert Einstein, who ever get bullying because they because people think he was a crazy people, but no, he become the professor. So don't lose hope and keep dreaming and so trying so so follow your heart and stay hungry and foolish.
That's it. No big deal. Just 3 stories. The first story is about connecting the dots. I dropped out of Reed College after the first 6 months, but then stayed around as a drop-in for another 18 months or so before I really quit. So why'd I drop out? It started before I was born. My biological mother was a young, unwed graduate student, and she decided to put me up for adoption. She felt very strongly that I should be adopted by college graduates, so everything was all set for me to be adopted at birth by a lawyer and his wife. Except that when I popped out, they decided at the last minute that they really wanted a girl. So my parents, who were on a waiting list, got a call in the middle of the night asking, "We've got an unexpected baby boy. Do you want him?" They said, "Of course." My biological mother found out later that my mother had never graduated from college and that my father had never graduated from high school. She refused to sign the final adoption papers. She only relented a few months later when my parents promised that I would go to college. This was the start in my life. And 17 years later, I did go to college. But I naively chose a college that was almost as expensive as Stanford. And all of my working class parents' savings were being spent on my college tuition. After 6 months, I couldn't see the value in it. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, and no idea how college was going to help me figure it out. And here I was, spending all of the money my parents had saved their entire life. So I decided to drop out and trust that it would all work out okay. It was pretty scary at the time, but looking back, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. The minute I dropped out, I could stop taking the required classes that didn't interest me and begin dropping in on the ones that looked far more interesting. It wasn't all romantic. I didn't have a dorm room, so I slept on the floor in friends' rooms. I returned Coke bottles for the 5-cent deposits to buy food with. And I would walk the 7 miles across town every Sunday night to get one good meal a week at the Hare Krishna temple. I loved it. And much of what I stumbled into by following my curiosity and intuition turned out to be priceless later on. Let me give you one example. Reed College at that time offered perhaps the best calligraphy instruction in the country. Throughout the campus, every poster, every label on every drawer was beautifully hand calligraphed. Because I had dropped out and didn't have to take the normal classes, I decided to take a calligraphy class to learn how to do this. I learned about serif and sans serif typefaces, about varying the amount of space between different letter combinations, about what makes great typography great. It was beautiful, historical, artistically subtle in a way that science can't capture, and I found it fascinating. None of this had even a hope of any practical application in my life. But 10 years later, when we were designing the first Macintosh computer, it all came back to me. And we designed it all into the Mac. It was the first computer with beautiful typography. If I had never dropped in on that single course in college, the Mac would have never had multiple typefaces or proportionally spaced fonts.
I think that's all for the speech of Steve Jobs. Thank you for your nice attention. And I'm sorry if I have many mistakes when I speak. Thank you. And last, I say, stay hungry and stay foolish. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
فبالله كم تستطب القروح ويبرأ جرح الكسير الجريح